Hello everybody, Raven Knight here. So, got another interesting video for you guys. Apparently my Northern Guardians video went really well, and if I'm being honest, the reason I made that is because sometimes I make a series of characters or designs that I really like, but I can't think of like long form legends for them or things that would be super unique that could last for a long time. So I kind of went, let's combine some of these. Let's kind of form something out of it. Like when I made that Raider design, I had an idea that he was like a mercenary band leader, and I thought, okay, that doesn't lend itself to necessarily create a super long form legend, but what if I took some other character designs and had them form up with them, and I just built that mercenary band, and it went over very well, apparently. Y'all seem to like it. So I ended up doing the same thing again. I ended up kind of coming up with a brand new group or faction of heroes, as it were, and this time it was a bit more samurai themed, and so I came up with the Sadahara Clan. This is the Sadahara Clan, and very excited to share this with you guys. I think it's going to be really cool. So this is a how to build the Sadahara Clan. Now, some of you might be wondering before I get started, Raven, will you be building a long-form legend about the Northern Guardians or the Sadahara Clan or any of these other factions you might build? And the answer is maybe. It is a big maybe, because I don't know if I want to form a full-on legend or legend series about these characters or about these groups, but if you guys enjoy them enough, I might. All right, so without further ado, let's jump into the first member of the Sadahara clan, Rioshi. So this is Rioshi. He is a Kensei. I've talked a little bit about his design before, and at first my idea with Rioshi was that he was a traditionalist. He was a staunch believer in traditional samurai values and didn't like outsiders. But I ended up flipping that entirely, like 100% 180 flip. It was kind of crazy because when I looked at the Northern Guardians, they are very much the traditionalists. They hate the Outlanders. They believe in the old way of war in Heathmoor. They want to maintain the old ways. They just hate the Outlanders and everything that has to do with them. They don't want them involved in Heathmoor. They're not even super high on the Wulin. They're just not fans of these guys because they're from outside the territory. The Knights, Samurai, and Vikings, we were here first. It's our war. We're trying to maintain the order of things as it is. So they fight mercenary battles, but they typically like to fight against Outlanders and Wulin. This guy, Rioshi, his story's a little different. He came from a prominent samurai family, the Sadahara, but his father was an abusive, neglectful, foolish, vengeful, angry man. He did a lot wrong. He beat and mutilated his sister. His sister actually had to run away because of how much he beat her and mutilated her. And he ended up shaming himself before the shogun, before the emperor, and he had to be disowned. Like he's no longer a daimyo. So Rioshi, basically from boyhood onward, was a ronin without any real station, despite him knowing that the Sadahara clan used to be very honorable. Now, though, he has a chance to bring back the Sadahara clan. He has found this sword that he's going to use to push his destiny. He's going to change the way things go, but the way he wants to do it is different. He believes that with Richard Blackthorne, we realize something. The samurai cannot exist unless they choose to evolve a bit. They need to adapt. They need to grow. They need to change a little bit. So he's not afraid to use outside help, which is exactly in contrast to the Northern Guardians who believe in traditionalism. This guy's, he's a bit more, forward thinking. He's a bit more, I want to see what we can change and what we can alter in terms of who we are and what we do. So that's kind of how I approach this Kensei. So let's talk about how to build him, shall we? First of all, you need the Amakasu helm. You need the Amakasu helm. You need the Chimera Roju chest, and the Chimera Roju arms. The Chimera Roju set looks really good with the arms and chest, but I wanted to use a different helm because I just think the helm looks a lot better with it. So again, the Amakusa helm, sorry, I can't talk today, Chimera Roju chest and Chimera Roju arms. Okay, for the weapon, the Koi Waves blade, hilt, and guard. You want the Koi Waves. And the reason I went with the Koi Waves is not only is it a baller design, but it also goes with the idea of the flowing waters, always changing, always adapting. The cool thing about water, you pour it into a glass, it takes the shape of the glass. You pour it down the side of a car, it's going to roll down the side of the car and move alongside whatever it needs to. It adapts, it changes, it evolves, and yet it still progresses to the ocean. It still makes it to its ultimate goal. So I thought giving him a water or marsh themed look fit there. Okay. Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button. So you know how to build him now. Here's what you need next. Traits, default 1, because he's a guy. If you wanted to make him a female, here's how she looked. But here's the thing. This helm kind of has a mustache. I don't like it when the female forms have the mustache. It looks a little weird. It looks a little out there. And you can go with the default form. Honestly, you can go with the default. It's fine. Okay, for the chest. Nothing for the paint pattern, nothing for the symbol, but you want the moon crane embossing, which you get at Reputation 28 level 20. So Reputation 28 level 20, you'll get the moon crane embossing. It just looks so solid. It looks so solid. Okay. Next, for the ornament, I went with the laurels and oni look. It's not too over extravagant. One thing that I've noticed with the Kensei, he has some over extravagant ones like the descending dragon or the antlers or the raging hydra, or even what there's this one that I see a lot of people use. Not recently, actually. I haven't seen this one as much recently, but I used to see it all the time. Where is it? Oh yeah, this one, the spiked horns. I used to see that all the time. To me, this Kensei doesn't want to look so, yeah, like this one too, the flying dragon. To me, Kensei doesn't need to look that austere. You just put a simple one on there. I think the laurels and oni is honestly just a very solid one, a very easily accessible one, an easily seen one. So I think that one's just fine for him. For the right shoulder, nothing. And for the left shoulder, nothing. I think they look perfectly fine like that. The texture on it looks really good. I think the texture looks great, and I wanted that to stand out, so I didn't want to change that at all. For the material, tar. Now, no overrides. You can just keep tar for this one. So tar is the material you want, okay? For the back, you want the Tranquil Ghost 3 paint pattern, which you get from the Ghost Rights event pass. If you did not join at that point, with any luck, they'll bring it back in the future. I really hope they do. It was a great event. So that is the one you want. For the symbol, nothing. For the embossing, nothing. I think that pattern looks beautiful. I would just keep it as is. Okay? Okay. For the standards, no paint pattern, no symbol, no embossing. Just keep it as is. Okay? Now for the color, get this. You want the Sylvan Moss paint pattern, which came from the Year 4 Season 3 Battle Pass. Believe it or not, we've already passed that. Remember how we've been kind of redoing some battle passes from the past, like these throwback passes? We've already passed it, so you should have this one now if you've been playing the Year 4 Season 3 Battle Pass. You should have this one. So you want the Sylvan Moss color scheme, so please use that. If you don't have it, I'm sorry, you're going to have to use one that comes close. You could use Iron Legion, I guess. You could use, oh gosh, there's so few that really look as good as that one. I guess you could use Forest Fire, I guess. What's another good one? I guess Vengeful Eagle looks good, but or maybe or Kappa's Haunts looks pretty good. Maybe Devastating Swarm, but honestly, you just want the Sylvan Moss. It just looks so solid. All right, so that's how you make him look like this. Now, again, I hit the wrong button. I'm tired, guys. I'm sorry. Next, for the feats, you want Fast Recovery, Chilling Stare, Longbow, and Stalwart Banner. I choose Fast Recovery because typically as a Kensei, I prefer quick recovery of stamina anyway. For Chilling Stare, this guy's got ambition, and quite often when you have ambition, you've got this look about you that makes other people realize you're not to be messed with. Longbow, because you need your range, and because, some samurai might say, oh, ranged weapons are for sissies, but I mean, historically speaking, the samurai use bows, so it's not a big deal. But if you wanted to go that route of, oh, I can't stand ranged weapons, well, this guy's trying to be unconventional anyway. And then Stalwart Banner, he wants to help out his allies. This guy recognizes he's not a one-man army. He's known throughout his whole life that he can't fight his battles alone, so he's going to work with others, and that means he needs to keep them alive. So I thought that one would work. For executions, we have In no Atari, Kikasi, the Daimyo's Verdict, and Triple Slash. So I chose Daimyo's Verdict because he wants to remind everyone that he is a daimyo at heart and he wants to return to his station. But Kikasi, Triple Slash, and In no Atari, I feel, well, not In no Atari, but Kikasi and Triple Slash definitely, are those fast, very effective, efficient fighting styles that are going to be used in his Ronin days. And In no Atari is just basically showing his skill, just showing, look at how good I am. Okay, so I thought that would work. For emotes, I use Blessed Glory and Recognition. Not a lot to that. Combat, Throwdown, and Die, just because I don't think there's anything else here that really screams him. And plus, I want to conserve my steel a little bit for more stuff later. I guess you could do Arm and Armed. I guess you could do that. So, maybe. For signature, I went with Goodwill, He is a man who is willing to humble himself a little bit, which is a very honorable thing to do. And then for effects, you don't really need anything with this guy. He doesn't need any effects. He's a humble guy. He's a simple guy. And it's ironic because he's humble, but he also knows that he's destined to rebuild his family. But it's not because he thinks I'm glorious. It's because he knows that the Sadahara clan deserves to be brought back from what it was. He knows that, my father was a fool. I'm going to rebuild our family into what it needs to be. It's not because he thinks I'm the best, I'm the smartest, I'm the coolest. It's just I'm going to make it into what it needed to be. So that's why I like Rioshi. Let me know what you think of Rioshi Sadahara in the comments section. Let's move on to the next one, who is Morimoto Yoichi. Okay, Yoichi. This guy is another Uramusha character. I know that everybody's really talking about Uramusha now with his new update, and if you want my honest opinion on it right now, if you had to put a gun to my head, I'd say he feels a lot better now, but he might be a little too strong, maybe just a little. I don't know. I don't play Uramusha all that much, so it's kind of hard for me to say, but you know what? Take what I say with a grain of salt. Don't at me. Anyway, so this Uramusha, Yoichi was Ryoshi's best friend while he was a Ronin, because this guy's a Ronin too, and they kind of looked out for each other. This guy is basically like one of the best swordsmen in all the Mire. Okay, he's one of the strongest swordsmen in all the Mire. He's mastered the 2-sword style. Heck, he could probably pull a Zoro and go the 3-sword style. He's actually that awesome. But he has one major weakness, and that weakness is this. When his brother died, when he was about 28, 29 years old, he fell into drink and perversion. Basically, he went to the bottle and went to the booba to basically, make himself happy again. And because of this, he kind of became a despot. No one likes him anymore. His own master, despite thinking he's a really skilled warrior, couldn't keep him around anymore, so abandoned him. And so now he lives in shame, and that makes him drink even more and, go after women even more. Every brothel knows what he looks like, and some of you banned him for touching the girls. Like, this guy has problems. But when he met Rioshi kind of said, hey, dude, I think you can be better than you were. Work with me, and try to kick some of these habits, and I can restore your name to samurai. I can get you out of the Ronin lifestyle. So Yoichi is kind of like, this is my chance. I can come back from this. So Morimoto Yoichi is kind of this guy who wants his personal redemption, and he thinks he can do that through Rioshi. So let's talk about how you build him. You need the Beast Within helm, probably one of the cleanest and nicest straw hats he has. The waggle chest and the waggle arms. I just think this whole outfit looks clean. Don't you think? It's such a clean look. It looks so nice. Then you need the Force of Nature blades, Cascada hilts, or cascading hilts. Why did I say cascada? I suddenly want to sing every time we touch. I'm sorry, guys. I had a rough day at school. Anyway, and then the Fisherman's Wife guards. So, Force of Nature blades, cascading hilts, Fisherman's Wife's guards. I just think that that's an overall pretty good design for a set of blades. I think it looks really nice. I think that it's pretty solid. So I think that that's kind of what I was looking for. It's just a clean, solid look. And overall, I think it looks good. Let me know what you think. Now let's talk about how you finish building them. For traits, body type 1, skin color default, no real change there. For the head, absolutely nothing. I don't like putting anything on the hat. I don't like the hat in general, but if you're going to have the hat, keep it clean. It's kind of like what my mom used to say. Hey, you know what? It may not be the room you've always dreamed of, but while you're here, you're going to keep it clean. That's what I feel about his hat. Hey, this hat may be cringe, but at least you're going to keep it clean and keep it looking presentable. Am I right? I'm right. Okay, so for the ornament, nothing. No, I don't give him an ornament. I don't even like most of the ornaments on the hat. They all look kind of weird to me. Some of them can be okay. Like, I think Dragon's trinket's okay. I think Dark Laughter's pretty decent. I think that the Mizuichi is actually pretty cool. I like the way they do that with the dragon limbs kind of going in and out. And I also like Curious Combat, but other than that, most of the ornaments on Uramusha don't look good. For the right shoulder, no paint pattern, no symbol, but you want the Oni 1 embossing, which you get at Reputation 12, level 20. Gives it a nice texture and makes it seem like almost like his right arm, because that's his right arm right there. His right arm has a demon behind it, which is why his strikes are so lethal. I thought that'd be kind of creative. And then for the left shoulder, again, no paint pattern, but you want the crown helm symbol, which you get at Reputation 4. So that one should be pretty easy to get. I like the way it looks on the arm symbol there. It kind of makes it look like it has wings, right? It looks kind of neat. All right, for the material, you want the base material with 3 overrides. Ready for this? The head is light brown, the chest and back are tar, and the legs are dark brown. The arms are the only thing that stay base. So everyone's been asking me, hey, how are you going to incorporate the differentiating material styles? This is one way I'm doing it. Light brown head, chest and back tar, legs dark brown. Okay, so that's what you're going to do there for the material. For the chest and back, you want the column paint pattern, which you get at Reputation 15 level 4. The column paint pattern, no symbol, no embossing. And then for the standards, you want the flower sides paint pattern, which you get in Death Blossom's Elite outfit, and nothing else. Overall, what you're going to get as a result is this very clean, very stylized look. And I say clean a lot, but I do emphasize that. Despite him being a drunkard and a lecher, he is a clean individual. He keeps himself proper because he still yearns for the day he comes out of his shame. He just doesn't think he ever will, so he doesn't bother trying. For the color scheme, you want the Ink Forest, which you get at Reputation 25, level 15. So you want Ink Forest. Looks great on him, I must say. It looks absolutely baller. If you don't like that, you can go Iron Legion. You can go Famous Savagery 3, which looks really good. The Famous Savagery 3 was my second choice for him. Or you can go Horkos Obscurity. But if you want to keep the green theme going, where's that other green one I really liked? There was another one that looked really good, but I chose against it. I gotta go. Oh, there it is. Vengeful Vindicator. That one looked good too. I guess you could also go Vengeful Eagle, but I just went with Ink Forest. Okay, so that's how you make him look like this. Here's how you build the rest of him. For abilities, I went with Deadly, Short-Tempered, Sharpened Blade, and Fear Itself. Deadly just kind of works for him because he's that good of a swordsman. He's just going to keep getting stronger as he fights. Short-Tempered, he's drunk all the time. Okay, he's quick to anger. Sharpened Blade, I like to think that what he does is he puts alcohol on the blade to make it sting. You know, wouldn't that be funny? And then Fear Itself, there's nothing scarier than a drunk, crazy, angry Aramusha. Just imagine him stumbling out of the brothel. Who the hell? I'm gonna, you, all five of you, hold it right. You just don't know how to deal with that guy. As an RA, when I was in college, dealing with drunk people, it's just like sometimes you just don't know what to do. Okay, executions. I use Dragon Palm Strike, Head Cutter, Think Fast, and Shizuo's Sentence. Now, here's why I use these. I use Dragon Palm Strike to show his skill. This guy is very skilled and he knows the human body very well, so he would know how to hit all the right pressure points. I use Head Cutter to show his raw strength because he could just slice through a neck and just be done with it, which I think is impressive. Not realistic, but impressive. Think Fast. Okay, he's carrying a bottle of alcohol, it looks like. I know it could be oil. I'm going to say it's alcohol, and he just blows him up with it. That's my theory there, because he's always got a drink on him. He's like, I don't need this, man. That's all you. And then Shizuo's Sentence, it's just goofy. I just feel like that's a goofy thing he'd do while drunk. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's why I chose that. For emotes, I use Stay Sharp and Dousing Nod and Dousing Rod. There's that. Selfish Drinker for obvious reasons. Like, why wouldn't you use Selfish Drinker with this guy? And then Winning Duo, because this guy just won a fight. He's drunk out of his mind. Hey, dude, we really did it, man. I'm proud of you. Yeah. Oh, you're a great guy. We had a nice summer, man. That's it. So, yeah, I chose that. For signature, job's done. Just job's done. We did it, guys. Yay. Yay, I survived another one. Hurrah. And then for effects, I really didn't use anything. Again, you don't need a lot with this guy. He's pretty simple and by the book. So that is Morimoto Yoichi, my Aramusha. Let me know what you think of him. And now we're going to go to one that I'm a little iffy on, but hear me out on this one. The next member is this character. Meet, get this, Sadahara Kizuki. Now, some of you who are familiar with the Japanese language know that Kizuki is a female name, and that is because this is Ryoshi's younger sister. Do you remember how I said that his younger sister was mutilated quite badly by their father? Took her eye, beat her to the point that she kind of got mutilated past the point of recognition as a girl. While she still has some feminine qualities, she doesn't even fully recognize herself being able to get with a man or be betrothed. She ran away from home and went to the Kyoshin. Now, the Kyoshin don't typically invite girls into their fold. That's why they're an all-male class. So she had to disguise herself as a boy. She had to go full Mulan and join up as a boy and train under them. But once they found out who she was and that she was a girl, she had to run away. And now that she's heard that Rioshi, her brother, is trying to restore the Sadahara name, she's decided to help him. Now, this isn't one of those cases. I know that some people will say, oh, so she's transgender. No, that's not the case. In fact, she wishes that she still had her female qualities. She wishes that she still had her breasts. She wishes that she still had her beauty, but she's had that ripped from her by her father. So in many ways, what she wants to do is, first of all, help her brother, because her brother was actually there to help her, and also to actually do something with her training. She was trained by the Kyoshin, might as well use it. Now, I said that it's iffy because I know that some people aren't going to jump on this idea, but I thought that it would be a unique direction to take it, because the joke that my brother always says, is he used to say, hey, you know, Raven, you talk about how every year they release one male and one female gender locked. Well, what about the year Kyoshin came out? That was Pirate and Kyoshin. That's two females right there. And I always have to go, Lark, that was a guy. Kyoshin's a guy. And he goes, what? No, I know he's what? And then I go, no, it's a guy. Oh my gosh. So because of that joke, I decided to go that direction with this. So treat it how you will. So to create Kizuki, you need the Kakurimi alternate helm, the Shisei chest, and the Shisei arms. Honestly, this is where it gets iffy for me. I thought about doing a different chest altogether, like maybe something like the Hanji chest, because that way it would be even easier to hide like anything feminine about her upper body, like her breasts or anything like that. I went with this for now because I think it just looks so nice. It's such a nice style for the Kyoshin, but I may end up changing it in time. I may end up changing it to the Hanji or possibly to the Bunkasen or something like that to make it a little less obvious. But for now, we're going to go with the Shisei. All right, so, and then the Shisei arm. So that's pretty much why I went with that. For the weapon, you want the Tranquility Blade, the Masterful Chusei Guard, and the Worshipper Scabbard. It's a good combination of weapons to make it look both intricate and yet believable. So I thought that would be a good look. Why do I keep hitting the wrong button? For traits, I went with Default 1 and Skin Color Default. For the chest, I went with no paint pattern, no symbol, no embossing. Pretty easy. No ornament. For the right shoulder, nothing, but I went with the symbol, the Horkos Illusionist 3. Looks kind of like a purple fox, I thought, so I thought that would work really well. And then for the left shoulder, I went with the Serpent embossing, which you get at Reputation 17, level 20. So that, I think that's a good one. For the material, pretty clear. I did amethyst, except for one difference in that. The head is firewood. The reason why is because this particular head for the Kyoshin, the hair changes according to the material. I didn't want purple hair, so I gave her the firewood helm to make it more dark brown. So I thought that would look very good. All right, for the back, no paint pattern, no symbol, no embossing. For the legs, I went with the Shallow Valley paint pattern, which you get at Reputation 6, level 6, and nothing else. Pretty easy. And then for the color, I went with Stellar Kingdom 2. Because it has a nice contrast with the purple. Now, like I said, all of this is subject to change. She is the only character out of the group that I'm a little iffy about in terms of design. I like the idea and the concept. I've always kind of liked going like a Mulan direction, like a girl disguising herself as a boy to play a male gender-locked hero, or reverse, have a male disguising himself as a female to play a female gender-locked. You could do a lot with that and be creative, although some people will go the transgender route, which is not the direction I intend to go. And I know that some people say, I just can't see it. And if that's the case, you don't have to see it that way. I totally understand, but it was an idea I had, and you can let me know your thoughts in the comments. For the feats, I just went with everything because she had her intense Kyoshin training, so she would have all the skills of the Kyoshin. For execution, I went with Wind's Edge, Relentless Wisdom, or Windstorm, sorry, Might of the Winds, and Can't Catch Me. I chose these executions because a lot of them don't require a great deal of strength and more just style, and I thought that would work very well for her since she's not going to have a lot of strength to her name. For emotes, I went with Solemn Bow and Divine Interference. I like the Divine Interference because she bonks herself in the face. And then Combat, Through the Veil, Heavenly Guidance. Pretty simple. Signature, that's the T. She still knows how to make tea. She hasn't forgotten how to do that. Oh, I would also go with, what was it? The Onsen Break one. I would do that one too. That one would be fine. And for effects, nothing. I didn't do anything with her either. Yeah, just not really going to do that. All right, so let me know what you think about Sadahara Kizuki. If you think that it's good or bad, it's fine. Just be respectful. All right, next, this one's going to shock you. All right, guys, say hello to Kiume. Kiume. Now, this was kind of fun for me. Kiume is a combination of two Japanese characters, Hope and Dream. Hope and Dream, right? Now, do we know another peacekeeper named Hope? Those of you who have read my For Honor and Glory story should already know that name. That's right, this is Hope. This is Hope from the For Honor story. Basically what happened with her is, after the whole events of For Honor and Glory, which I will finish at some point, but after the whole events of For Honor and Glory, she went back to the samurai to continue her mission to study Japan and the Japanese and their culture, and she's just fallen in love with it. She thinks it's beautiful, and she meets Rioshi, who basically says that he's willing to work with her, and in exchange for her services, he's willing to entertain the idea of an alliance with an Ashfeldian kingdom, and she thinks that would be a great idea. She thinks that an alliance between the Meyer and Ashfeld would be wonderful, so she's willing to work with Rioshi as his spy and basically, you know, just like a retainer to help him out. And in exchange, she's hoping that in time they will be able to build a relationship between Ashfeld and the Meyer. And she's gotten some updated armor and weapons as a result of her time during the For Honor and Glory event. So she has been updated tremendously, and I can't wait to show you what I have done with her. So let's take a look. The body isn't that hard. You want the Diritatis helm, Diritatis chest, and Diritatis arms. The look is just too good not to use. I think it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful look for our little blonde lady, so I think it looks great. For the weapons, though, Royal Amethyst Blade, Dark Marcellus Hilt, and Dark Marcellus Dagger. What you get from this is a gnarly weapon set that both looks regal, but also kind of dark, which I think fits her very well. So that's what you want to go with there. All right, now for the rest, for traits. Default, nothing new there. Chest and back, I went with the vertical line paint pattern, which you get at Reputation 1, level 8. Without it, you have this plain chest, which is fine. It's not bad. I like it, but we can get creative by adding the vertical line. For the symbol, nothing. For the embossing, nothing. For the ornament, I normally don't go an ornament on Peacekeeper, but the leaf crown is honestly the best ornament that Peacekeeper has. I mean, let's be honest, most of these look stupid. Like, why would you put some of these on your head? Like, this one kind of works, but these, nah, it's not there. The leaf crown is honestly the best one you can get for a Peacekeeper, so I gave her that. The right shoulder, you want the vertical halves paint pattern, which you get right away. It's something you get automatically with Peacekeeper. No symbol, but the embossing, I use Masterful Durability, which you get from the Year 8 Season 2 Battle Pass, so you should have gotten it if you played in Year 8, so use that. For the left shoulder, I use the Pentagon paint pattern, which you get at level 13, so you should get this pretty quickly. No symbol, no embossing. Pretty easy stuff. For the material, I use light color, which you get from Reputation level 20, but with one override. For the chest and back, I use pale. So again, base is light, but I use pale for the chest and back. It is a good contrast between the full-on light and pale color that I think works very well, making her look almost like a ghost or phantom, which I like. For the standards, I went with the Pentagon again, which has gotten at level 13. No symbol, no embossing. And for the legs, I went with the Chevrons 1 paint pattern, which you get at Reputation 2, level 12. And the Truce of Wyverndale 3 symbol, which you get from owning the Year 4 Season 1 Battle Pass. And again, we've already gone through that Battle Pass a second time, so you should have it if you played, I think it was Year 8 Season 1 last year. So I think you should be getting that if I think you should have that. So that is how you make her look like that. And for the color scheme, I used Assassin's Creed Virtual Reality paint pattern. It just looks good. It just looks that good. I love it. I absolutely love it. And if you don't have it, the best thing you can do is probably just go full on thin ice or black ice and just make it a full white. Like, that may be the best thing you can do at that point. Anyway, now for the abilities. I gave her Bounty Hunter, Executioner's Respite, Pugno Mortis, and Last Laugh. It's a very good set for any Peacekeeper. Bounty Hunter is going to keep you getting health after each kill. Executioner's Respite If you manage to get the execution, you get even more health back. Pugno Mortis, a good assassin skill to throw in an explosive to get an edge. And last laugh, even if she goes down, she's taking him with her. Very samurai the more I think about it. For executions, Ole. Deadly Embrace. Card of Absolution. And Double-Edged Gift. Okay, so I chose these because Ole and Deadly Embrace show her skill as an assassin and shows that she hasn't fully gotten rid of her Peacekeeper roots. Card of Absolution shows that she's trained in the samurai arts to the point she even knows some of their mystic onmyoji skills, which I thought was kind of neat. And Double-Edged Gift, I think, is kind of a sneaky little assassin way of showing that, yeah, I side with the samurai, I work with them, but I'm still an assassin, don't fully trust me. So I thought that would work. Emotes, Curtsy, and Death Threat. Again, respect, but I'm a deadly vixen. And then Free Roam, I use Recognition. And Reluctant Applause, you have impressed her. Don't let it get to your head. Just I thought that'd be a little coy, a little silly. For signatures, I use Alliance to the Mire, because again, she is a knight who allies herself with the Mire. All right, for effects. For Idol, I use Peaceful Garden. For the Peacekeeper execution she has, I also use Peaceful Garden. Again, showing her reverence of the samurai. For Free Roam, I use the Samurai Endurance. And for combat, the same thing. All right, and that is how you build Kiume, the Peacekeeper, who is Hope. And let me know what you think about her. Let me know what you think about her design and her overall usage in the lore. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And now for the last one, last but not least. This is Zara Alyra. Zara Alyra, the Ephira. So her story's a little bit different. So basically what happened with her is she's never liked the Sultana. She never liked life in Arabia. She never liked just being an Ephira locked up in a desert. You know, she had access to an education. She had access to all this stuff, but what she really wanted was freedom to live her own life. So when the Sultana dies and all the Ephira head to Heathmore to get revenge on Raviera and Horkos, she breaks away right away. She wants nothing to do with that. She heads to the Mire. And there she sees Rioshi, and he's still a Ronin at the time, and he's fighting for his life. And so she comes in and backs him up a little bit, and they kind of fight hand in hand for a little while, and he's impressed with her. She's quite the warrior, and she thinks he's quite the warrior. And so they form a close friendship, and he's like, I can't imagine rebuilding my family without you by my side. So what do you say we work together? Now, some of you might say, oh, is that a budding romance? And the answer to that is possibly, but I haven't decided on that yet. So that is Zara Alyra, basically a woman intent on helping him out. And like I said, his whole thing is he's willing to enlist outside help, but the Northern Guardians don't like any of these Outlanders, which is probably what leads to their conflicts when they have them. So here's how you build her. You need the Curator alternate helm, the Castaway chest, and the Castaway arms. If you haven't noticed, as long as you match the chest and arms, the head sometimes is different with these characters. Isn't that odd? Anyway, I just think this is a very pretty look. Makes her look pretty, but also very efficient. She has the Savage Reckoning head, the Lost Sentry shaft, and the Silver Scales shield. A very basic look, but an overall cool one, so I thought it worked. For the traits, default 1, skin color default. For the chest and back, nothing except for embossing, caltrops, which you get at level 3. Level 20, reputation 3. The reason I chose that one is because of how it looks on the back. It just looks nice. It just gives a good texture to it. For the ornament, I went with the Guardian of Peace. Which you should have gotten from completing tiers in the 7 Weapon Master event pass. For right shoulder, nothing. For left shoulder, nothing. I mean, why would you put anything? You got an ornament over it. For the material, silver. You want silver. No overrides, just silver on this one. Pretty simple. It looks pretty. I think it glows a little. For the standards, you want the Cat's Eye 1, which you get a Reputation 4 level 9. It has a very nice pattern to it that kind of sticks out underneath the chainmail. No symbol, no embossing. And then for the left arm, you want... Now, this is the shield. Now, normally, I don't put anything on the shield because I like the shield to look plain as it is. But this time, I put the Tranquil Ghost 1 paint pattern, which you get from the Ghost Rights event pass. And I use the Triple Vines symbol from Reputation 10 level 10. And I don't know, it gives almost this ethereal look, which I really, really like. It looks almost like smoke, which I think looks really cool. And that's how you make her look like this. Now, here's her abilities. I gave her all of Athira's normal abilities, except for tier 2. I gave her Thrilling Comeback because she's making a comeback, y'all. She might have left the Athira, but she's found a new life for herself, which I think she's very proud of. For executions, I gave her Fate's End, Sultana's Sanction, Bloody Prophecy, and Scholar of Death. Now, some of you are probably seeing that thinking, they're all just basically Athira's default executions. Yes, they are. Because honestly, they're the best I could think of for emotes. My Juggle Act, and Deceptive Dance. She's a coy creature. She likes to play around. She likes to have a good time. Keep in mind, she doesn't take things too seriously. That's why she left the Athira in the first place. They're too stuck up. They're too stuffy. For combat, Heba Signal and Hysterical Laugh. Again, just we're fine. We're having a good time, you know. We're all good. For signature, Escape Artist. I get the feeling that she falls into traps quite a bit because I compared her personality a lot to my friend Hannah. Just kind of this happy-go-lucky girl, which means that she often falls into traps a lot. And she's like, oh, I got out. Yay. And then for effects, nothing. You don't need anything on her. And that is how you build Zara Alyra. So, that is all of the Sadahara clan that I have created, and I might make more later as I build on them a bit more, but they are going to be kind of the sort of rivals of the Northern Guardians. So let me know what you guys think. Would love your thoughts on that, but be respectful. And if you like me making these factions and stuff, guys, let me know. I'll make more. I've kind of got a few more ideas I'd like to try. But anyway, that's all the time I got for today, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Take care.